as long as the men that are seen as righteous and know the truth are quiet, the evil in the land will continue to prevail. This is why this morning, by the grace of God, I would like to send a message in respect of all that is happening in Nigeria. I find it needful at this time, this morning, I find it an imperative to send a message to the leaders of Christian communities in Nigeria. The people that we term and that we call the fathers of faith in Nigeria. I want to send this message to Pastor E. Adeboye Dadijio, to Bishop Oyedepo, to Dr. Paul Enenche, to Pastor W.F. Kumuyi, to Pastor Olukoya of MFM, to Bishop Wale Oke, the former president of PFN, to Papa Ayo Orishatafo, Most Reverend Matthew Manasa Ondogo, the president of the Catholic Bishop of Nigeria, the Catholic Bishop Conference of Nigeria, to Most Reverend Henry Chukudum Undukuba of the Anglican Communion, the leader of the Anglican Communion, to Pastor Samuel Olusegun Oladele of CAC, Christ Apostolic Church, to Reverend Dr. Baba Paya of ECWA, the leader, the president of ECWA Church in Nigeria, to the leadership of Christian Association of Nigeria, to the leadership of Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, known as the PFN. Believe me, if I have any other means or any other method of conveying my message to you this morning, I would have done that. But God knows that I am a man, I'm not a popular preacher. And so I do not have contact, I do not have the means, I do not have the opportunity to be able to reach you directly. But I believe that by God's mercy, this message will reach every one of you. As the leaders of Christians, as the people that are tagged and termed as fathers of faith in Nigeria. Now this message this morning is not to ridicule you. It's not to insult you in any way. Every one of you that I've mentioned, and even those that I did not mention. It is not to ridicule you, it is not to insult you. It is not to mock you in any way, because I will never do that. I'm a man that is overwhelmed by the burden of the present situation of Nigeria. And sometimes we want to look away, we want to present it is not happening. But when we begin to think of what is to come for the Christians in Nigeria, we are stirred up within the spirit to be able to speak concerning this issue. Now, when the Lord saved me into year 2010, when I gave my life to Christ from Islam, it was on a personal encounter, and the Lord saved me from Islam. It was on a personal encounter with Jesus, and I became a Christian. And the first thing I asked the Lord, so what is the next thing I should do? Where do I go? And the Lord said, go to Deeper Life. I was in Deeper Life from the year 2010 to 2015. And in the year 2015, ending of 2015, by the Spirit of God, I moved to Redeemed Christian Church of God. And I served in the Redeemed Christian Church of God for 2015 to 2020. I served in different capacities. I was a Sunday school teacher. I was a zonal youth president. I was a zonal house fellowship coordinator. I was active in all, in the church. The reason I'm saying this morning is that so that you know that I am a direct beneficiary of the graces of God upon your life. I have drunk from the well of the Spirit that God has poured through you. So there is no way I'll come out this morning to insult you. I cannot do that. I honor you too well. I love you too well. But I find this imperative. I find this urgent at this time to send this message not to one person, to every fathers of faith in Nigeria. Every leader of every Christian community, even those that I do not mention. And in the time past, by the Spirit of God, I have sent message to the President of Nigeria. In the time past, I have sent message to Sultan of Sokoto. In the time past, I have sent a message to the President Trump of the United States. And this morning, it is needful for me this morning to send message to every Christian leader in Nigeria, so that you can understand what we are going through. And there is so much you have labored for in Nigeria that if care is not taken, within the next 20 years, 30 years, will be all destroyed. If nothing is done to all that is happening in Nigeria. The matter of insecurity in Nigeria that has overwhelmed the nation, especially on the matter of genocide, the killings of the Christian brethren in the north. I have been speaking about this right from when I was in the north. That God has given us the grace by His grace to be privileged to some information. And we know some of the atrocities that have been committed. We know some of the atrocities that have been committed. And we know that what is being committed in the future. I want to tell you this morning that no matter what has been done against the church and the Christian brethren, and no matter what is being done against the church and the Christian brethren, what is to be done in the future is far worse than what has been done. And if we don't talk about this now, I am afraid that the fate of the Christian faithfuls in Nigeria, the fate of the church, is at stake. Number one, this morning I want you to know is that there is Islamization agenda. Many of you know this. Many of you have come to this reality, but many are still denying this fact. The reason being that majority of you are domiciled within the southern part of the nation. And so some of you do not have an understanding of the realities of what is happening in the north. And so every time it seems like an ordinary news to you, except if you have been a victim. We have been a victim. I have been a victim. I have people that I know directly that have been a victim. And several times I should have been killed long ago during the write-out of Sharia. And so, number one, I want to make you understand that there is Islamization agenda. An agenda to turn Nigeria to a Lebanon. An agenda to turn Nigeria to a Turkey. An agenda to turn Nigeria to Jordan. These countries were one-time Christian nations. These countries were one-time nations that have over 70% of Christianity. But today, those nations are 100% Islam. This is not something that started today. No, it didn't start today. It didn't start 10 years ago. It didn't start 20 years ago. It didn't even start 30 years ago. This is an agenda that has been put in motion for almost 70, 80, 90 years in Nigeria. And this thing began to find full expression in Nigeria in the 70s, in the 80s. Starting with the days of Babangida. When Babangida registered Nigeria under OIC, Organization of Islamic Cooperation, an international Islamic body that regulates Islamic countries. Then you will ask yourself, is Nigeria an Islamic nation? Is Nigeria an Islamic nation for Nigeria to be registered in OIC? But because they know that they can do what they want to do, and they know that they can push Christians to the wall, they can begin to step on your toes, and you will do that. So they register Nigeria under OIC, and nobody said anything. Till today, Nigeria is a member of OIC. OIC comprises about 57 countries, which majority of them are Islamic nations. Or you must have about 70% of the population of your nation as Muslims for you to be a member of OIC. The question this morning is does Nigeria have majority of Islam? Nigeria is 50% Muslim, 50% Christianity. Why will Nigeria be a member of OIC? Then it continued in the 2000s when 12 northern states implemented Sharia as their ruling law. 12 states in Nigeria implemented Sharia to be the ruling law in 12 northern states, and nobody said anything. And you are all there. You were aware. Knowing fully what the rod of Sharia, the principle of Sharia, mandate that an unbeliever that does not believe in Islam should be killed or should be made to pay the Islamic tax known as the Jizra. But nobody did anything. 12 states adopted Sharia in this nation, and all you fathers of faith did not do anything against it. Knowing fully that in Nigeria there are Christians and there are Muslims scattered all over the nation. How will a nation that is still a secular nation have 12 states in its nation practicing Sharia and Islamic law? Knowing fully whether you don't do anything, they push for that. It will interest you that 1999 Constitution, the Constitution of 1999, has several provisions for Sharia, several provisions for Islam, several provisions for Muslim, but not one did mention Christianity or Christian. So we can say that the Constitution of Nigeria is an Islamic constitution. I took my time to make a research, and I found this so. I've been hearing it as speculation until I took my time to make a research, and I found several places. The Constitution of Nigeria has provision for Islam, for Islamic court, for Sharia court. But not one did mention Muslim, not one did mention Christianity. It has provision for Islamic banking, Islamic financing. How can you say the nation is a secular nation and the constitution have provision for Islam but not for Christianity? But you all were watching. You didn't mention it. You didn't say anything. This is the confidence that made them make the Nigerian Army logo. When you go and look at the Nigerian Army logo, you find Arabic writing on the Nigerian logo. You cannot ask yourself, is Nigeria an Islamic nation? Why will Nigeria's Army logo have an Arabic inscription on it? Why does the currency that we use in Nigeria have Arabic inscription on it? If we're truly a secular nation, are we an Islamic nation? Why? But they know that you people are not saying anything. They have went through people and they found out that you will not do anything. And so therefore, they keep pressing. It will interest you that by this Sharia law, many Christians have been killed. In 2016, that you will remember that an evangelist Eunice in Abuja was only preaching on the streets in Abuja, and she was killed for preaching the gospel. Because they find her violating Sharia law for preaching the gospel. A member of the Redeemed Christian Church of God preaching the gospel, and she was murdered in court. You didn't do anything about it. The church didn't do anything about it. The nation just moved on. Deborah Samuel was murdered in court. The nation moved on. People have been murdered in Kano. The nation moved on. In Kaduna, several places. The nation moved on. Recently, a woman was shot in the eyes simply because they told her to denounce Jesus, and she said no, she will not denounce Jesus. And they first killed her father in her front. She still said she will not denounce Jesus, and they shot her in a temple. But luckily, God saved her. She survived it. But the repercussion is that He blinded her 2 eyes. Many of you see this, but you have been quiet. Every single day, they keep pressing to Islamize. They keep pressing to turn Nigeria to an Islamic caliphate. I have revealed this over and over and over. I've been shouting this over and over. Many of you are aware. The point is that you are not doing anything about it. Like I said, I'm not here to insult you this morning, but to bring this into your awareness that you have been very cool. As a father or as father, there are 2 responsibilities of father. There are 2 responsibilities of father. Number 1 is to provide. Number 2 is to protect. And we thank God that many of you, by the Spirit of God, you have provided spiritual meal. God has used it to run exploit in diverse places in Nigeria, producing genuine fruit, building genuine believers. Unfortunately, you have not done the aspect of protecting. Of what benefit will it be, sir? If after you go out and do a crusade today, and you win souls for Jesus, and the following week, jihadists come and destroy them and kill them, of what benefit is it? If it was so, Jesus would have taken us the moment we give our life to Christ. The reason why God left us on earth is to fulfill purpose and destiny. Why will you continue to labor on people and you allow jihadists to keep killing them and you do not do anything about it? I'm bringing it to your attention again this morning. There's Islamic agenda, Islamization agenda, to Fulanize the nation, to turn Nigeria to what Usman Danfodio did with the Hausa land when he conquered the Hausa land. And now the whole of Hausa land are majorly Muslims. Number two, there is genocide. A systematic and well-planned orchestration to eliminate the Christian, starting from the northeast to the northwest and to the north central. I've had many victims. I've seen many victims. Christians have been displaced. Every part of this nation, you will never go a place and you will see Fulani IDP people, Fulani that are in IDP camp. No, it is always Christians. All over the nations. They keep going into farms, destroying the people's farm and killing them on the farm. Several way, every single day there's always a burial. Reverend Ezekiel Dachama keep conducting burial every single day. What have you people done about it? You are all fathers. It is your responsibility not only to provide spiritual meal, but also to protect your flock. What are you people doing about it? This message is for everybody. And I'm saying all over the world, those are people all over the world, people who know that there is a genocide against the Christian faith, against the vulnerable Christian communities in Nigeria, that many have been displaced, many have been killed, many have been annihilated. In 2021, a camp president, Christian Social President of Adamawa State, was beheaded. I watched the video. Was beheaded. But nobody does anything about it. Everybody just keep moving on. Everybody keep moving on. Nobody did anything about it. We have seen a systematic attack by some men in the military, in the army. Some jihadists in the army that are systematically killing their fellow soldiers that are Christians. Killing their fellow soldiers that are Christians. Systematically killing their fellow soldiers that are Christians. Because the calamitous Buhari that will not rest in peace has enrolled jihadists back into the army. And they are killing Christians. But what did you people do about it as fathers? You keep going about your conferences and crusades. It will interest you to know that the Muslim ticket they did was an experiment to test your limits as Christians to see if they can achieve that. And El-Rufai did it in Kaduna State by having the governor and also the deputy governor was a Muslim. At the moment they achieved that, they said, okay, if you can do this in Kaduna State, we can also do it nationally. And they did it nationally and they succeeded. What did you people do about it? Nothing. And brethren, innocent brethren are being displaced. When every day sometimes I get so tired of the news, there's hardly one day you will not see this news. There's hardly one day. Man of God, you follow me? You can't go online one day and not see that a Christian community has been killed, kidnapped, and other. Why? Because they are in the last phase of the Islamization, which is jihad. That what you are seeing, the kidnapping, the killings, and all you are seeing is a function of jihad that systematically emboxing Christians to either submit to Islam or be killed. But what are the fathers of faith doing? You are in your Lagos, you are in your cities, and you are enjoying your life. You keep going about your thing because it does not concern you. Like I said, I'm not here to insult anybody. But I'm here to bring this to your attention. I'm a man that is on earth for a time like this. I honor men, but I fear no man. Jihad. Performing jihad. Going about killing Christians. Performing jihad. And we see most of these people are financed by the government. They are financed by the government. Recently, a terrorist was saying, government pay ransom. If the government of a nation is paying ransom to terrorists, how do you want that terrorism to end? And when they give them this ransom, they use it to buy more weapons. When a weapon, a rifle that is registered to the office of the NSA was found with a Fulani man. Christians cannot defend themselves, but they will provide arms for Fulanis to keep killing you, to keep killing our people, to keep killing Christians. And all of you, wherever you are, keep moving on, keep enjoying whatever you are enjoying, and it does not bother you at all. I'm not here to charge you with anything this morning, but to bring this to you. Like I said, you all are fathers, and I'm a boy before you all. But we cannot continue to allow evil to prevail. That you were in this nation and they implemented Sharia. You were in this nation and Nigeria was registered under OIC. You were in this nation and all the killings have been going on. Christians have been killed in their stores and you are doing nothing. And they say you are fathers. We thank you for all the spiritual meal and the spiritual thing you have done, which is good. But how about protecting the interest? There are some of you among the fathers that if you come out to hold a press conference and speak, it will change things in this nation. The problem is that you do not do that. Many of you, God has given you the capacity, the influence, the affluence, the platform. But you have not done anything about that. A recommendation. The church must be intentional at this time to develop a security network. You must collaborate regardless of your denomination. Either you are Catholic or Pentecostal. After all, when they come, they will not ask you, are you Catholic or Pentecostal? They just do what they do. Either you are Catholic, Pentecostal, Anglican, whatever it is, Caribbean, Seraphim, Christ Apostolic, we must unite. You must unite. All you fathers must organize a conference and speak to how to create a Christian security network that will be protecting the Christian communities and Christians in Nigeria, especially the ones in the north. You must collaborate at this time. Have a conference and discuss this thing. It cannot continue like that. If you don't do anything about this, Islam will prevail. It has been done like that in different nations and they succeeded. It took them only 30 years to displace Christians in Lebanon and took over Lebanon. You are seeing that what they are doing in the UK at this time. That in UK, now you find that big churches that used to be church have been bought by Muslims and they are converting into mosque. Converting big structures. You are seeing it now. They are demanding for Sharia in the UK. They want Sharia in the UK. They are asking for Sharia in the US. You will think they are peaceful, but they have an agenda all over the world, not just in Nigeria. And you in Nigeria, you must do something. Otherwise, we will be foolish as Christians to think they cannot achieve it. No. Don't say God forbid it's not possible. It has been done before they can do it. Go and ask them in Turkey. The Ephesus of the Ephesians. Where Paul did a lot of exploit. Constantinople has one of the biggest churches in the world during their days. Today, all of them are Islamic Catholic Caliphate. So don't say it is not possible. Don't say God forbid it cannot be done in Nigeria. If you fathers don't do anything about it, it will be done. Organize yourself. Please, sirs. Have a conference and discuss how to organize a Christian security network that will be well armed, well equipped, not to attack anybody, not to attack any group, not to attack any religion, but to protect and defend the integrity of the Christian faithfuls and Christian community. My second recommendation: stand as a single unit at this time. Stand as a single unit, all you fathers. Stand as a single unit at this time and demand that Nigeria Sharia be abolished in Nigeria. We are not an Islamic nation. Why are we going to be in a secular nation and there are places that are practicing Sharia? With Sharia law, with Sharia police, with Sharia army, and everything, and we are in a secular nation. It's not possible. Recently, there are students of Kaduna Polytechnic that were going to school, well dressed, well covered, but because they were not wearing niqab or wearing hijab, they were turned back from entering into the school. This is Nigeria. In Kaduna State last week, just last week, the student went to school, Christian student, the Muslim madam, the demonic Muslim madam prevented them from entering into the school compound. Now because they're not covering according to Islam, because it is a month of what they call it, Ramadan. And you turn their student back. People that have their best school fees, they came from home, you turn them back. But what did the Christian people do in Nigeria? Nothing. We must unite, all you fathers, before you leave this world. Unite together and demand that Sharia be abolished. If Sharia will not be abolished, then any nation that want to keep anything that want to keep Sharia, let them form a nation and remain there as a nation and keep practicing their Sharia. But as long as Nigeria remains as a single entity, we must demand, you fathers must demand that Sharia is intentionally abolished. Otherwise, let them go and create an Islamic nation, turn it to an Afghanistan. That is their business. But you fathers must demand it. Finally, most of you fathers are already in your 80s. Recently, that you celebrated your 84th birthday. We thank God for that. Daddy Kumi is also in his 80s. Some of you are in your 70s. Some of you are in your 60-something, approaching 70. Some are approaching 80. Some of you are already in your 80s. So we can say 20 years from today, or before 20 years from today, most of you will not be here again. How will you feel when you have gone to glory, and one day you look back and the big auditorium you have built has been converted to a mosque? How will you be after you have left to glory, despite all your exploits, like Apostle Paul labored in Ephesus, like Apostle Paul labored in Corinth, like Apostle Paul labored in Constantinople, and all those apostles labored in the Asia Minor and the Asia Major country? How will it be that one day, after all your big cathedrals, 20,000 capacity, 200,000 capacity, 300,000 capacity, and one day you look back when you're gone and you find out that you didn't do what you ought to do, and the nation has become Islamized, and all your big cathedrals have been turned mosque? Don't say God forbid. Don't say it cannot happen. No, it has happened before in history, and it can still happen. Turkey was once a Christian nation. Egypt was once a Christian nation. Lebanon was once a Christian nation. Jordan was once a Christian nation. They are all Islamic. They are all Islamized now. If you don't do anything, in 30 years, 40 years, 50 years from today, I'm afraid all your labor in the kingdom. I see what Bishop Edebo is building in the Living Faith Church. We appreciate God for that. That was a fantastic building. But one day, if nothing is done, that will become, when the Islam take over this nation, you see how they have overwhelmed the nation. From the northeast to the northwest to the middle belt, and now they are entering the southwest, in Kwara, in Ondo, in Osun. Before you know it, they overwhelm the whole nation. For one purpose and one purpose alone. Boko Haram, ISWAP, Fulani Esmen, they all have one mission: Islamization. That's all. I pray you will not look back one day and see that all your labor of love, all your labor has been turned upside down by the Islamists, because you refuse to speak when you ought to speak. All your big cathedrals and big churches have been turned to mosque because you didn't do anything about it. You had the means, you had the platform, you had the resources. I beg you, number one, form a security network. Most of you can finance it, you have the money. If you want the Christians in Nigeria to contribute, both in Nigeria, they'll contribute money to support it. Let men be trained. Put it before the government. As an individual, I can't do that, because they have been monitoring me since November last year, since when I was in the northeast. They have been tapping my phone. So as an individual, if I begin something like that, they'll tag me a terrorist. But you are fathers that are know, with influence, with platform, with resources. They can't do that to you. Organize yourself and take a stand now. Organize a security network. Let Sharia be abolished. As long as Nigeria remains a secular state, let Sharia be abolished. Please heed to this message. I trust God that it will get to you. Like I said, I don't have the platform to send message to every one of you. But I believe that through social media, this message will get to every one of you. Somebody you know, somebody you know, somebody you know will get this message that got to you. Don't tell, I know I'm a boy. I'm a boy. But that which I speak by the Spirit. Like I said, this is not to dishonor you. This is not to disrespect you. But the times we are now calls for a desperate measure. And if we do not act at this time, a day might come. We'll look back and we'll say, oh, we wish we have listened to that boy when he was speaking. I pray that day doesn't come. But I beg you, heed to this message. Forget about doctrine. Don't say Catholic and Bible before one thing. As far as we are Christians, forget about doctrine. Now is the time to unite as a single entity. A house that is divided against itself can never stand. The Bible said. If you keep getting divided, you cannot stand. You can't do anything. May the grace of God be with you all, even as you listen. Please, Nigerians, when you see this message, ensure it gets to the people everywhere, everyone, so that they can hear this message and also be able to take practical steps. I thank you for the opportunity to address you people, and I pray that the God of heaven will continue to strengthen you. The Nigerian government doesn't want it to end. They are enjoying it. The government of Bola Tinubu is not doing anything serious about it. They just want to re-election and re-election. He's busy sharing rice all over the nation, and his house is burning. It doesn't concern them. In honor and in humility, please address this issue before you depart this physical world. Don't leave this world in the state Nigeria is like this. Otherwise, every of your labor, when you turn back and look back one day, you might see that it has become ruined. It has become Islamic nation. May the grace of God be with you, everyone. Thank you for your attention to this matter. In Jesus' name.